Okay, so we are back with day 2 of our live coverage of the Orion Ascent conference here in sunny San Diego, part of our goRIA Independence Your Way Tour 2026. So we have Ron Pruitt, who's the president of Orion Wealth, and you just got off stage with some pretty meaningful announcements. What's going on?
I did, Chuck. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk today. We're excited to announce all the work we're doing to expand our existing household capabilities and deploy a market-leading UMH capability. So a lot really going on underneath the hood, but in particular building on the solution set, we've built a proprietary optimization capability ourselves, overlay capability, and kind of leveraging our AI capabilities to integrate it into a way to deploy that out to advisors.
All right, I love that. Let's dissect that a little bit. So what is that going to mean to me as an advisor and an Orion client?
Absolutely. Well, first, probably easiest to mention why. Yeah. Right? So we do a wealth tech survey each year, and what we heard from our advisors is 84% felt that managing at a household level is where the bar needed to be. Yet there's a pretty significant gap between where advisors are today. So 42% said they're going to begin or increase their usage of our existing household capabilities. So in order to do that, we want to make it easier for advisors to consume and deliver more personalized solutions at scale. And that's really at the core of what we're doing. So what that means is the ability for an advisor to use, and what we deploy in a series of releases throughout this year, AI prompts to create tax transition proposals. Combining those with statement extraction capabilities, also fueled and powered by AI, and then layering that into our existing overlay engine to deliver enhanced level, household level management and UMH capabilities.
Love that.
Yeah.
Would you give our audience just a few sentences on household level rebalancing, things like this?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the key tenets of household level management is to think holistically about a family and their goals, and how to save and leverage their existing assets in ways that are smartly managed for taxes and for their unique requirements. And in particular, asset location is critical. So that certain assets are higher growth, but maybe less tax efficient. They belong in a certain type of account, or at least have a preference towards that. Other accounts are more tax efficient, maybe lower growth, and maybe those belong in a different type of account. So asset location is at its core. Then we layer that with our existing direct indexing capabilities and our capabilities for loss harvesting and kind of risk management, all enabled as one solution for that family, that household, and all of the investors to kind of the benefit of the advisor, so they can provide more holistic advice.
Love that. And will you be able to take a household, create discrete different portfolios, but have it all run with that one system?
Absolutely.
That's the key.
And the key is, and sometimes you would think of that as a UMA. If each one had a discrete household, and you manage those to a discrete account, that would be a UMA. But when you start to say, what if that solution needed to bridge several accounts? That we have our overall goals, but maybe it's for estate taxing purposes, a husband and wife with individual and a joint account. Right? How do you think holistically about managing that portfolio and moving the assets that are smartly managed to make it easier and more cohesive? And in particular, one of the drivers that we heard from our advisors in our surveys was they believe that the number one reason to do that is to provide that holistic advice in a seamless way that's efficient and easy for a client to understand, less about what accounts it's in, what's models, and much more about how you're meeting their goals, their objectives, and doing that in a very smart and managed and efficient way.
Yeah. So we've been doing this at our shop for some years now, and we talk to advisors about it all the time. Because you have a Roth IRA, a regular IRA, a joint account, because you have to, right? You cannot commingle them. But wouldn't it be nice to just say, here's my $3 million household, here's how I want to invest, and let someone else, AI in this case, figure out where to put all the stuff? Is that essentially what you're solving for?
AI is an enabler. It's to help with that proposal. It's to help with extraction of data. The core engine, though, and in its root, is built on the technology to do asset location, leveraging off existing capabilities and our custom indexing. So it's blending the two together so that it smartly takes all the smarts, the leverage, our portfolio management teams, and provides that as a service. But it makes it easier to consume by deploying that with AI to say, here's what I'm trying to solve for a client. How can you help me?
Right. But ultimately, the engine can be set up with guardrails by the advisor, I assume.
Yeah, absolutely.
The way we think, a little bit.
The way we think about that is, there's a series of an investment policy, a series of choices, guidance that we would implement. Every client's going to be unique.
Yeah.
They're going to have different amounts of money in their Roth versus their traditional, right? Versus different qualified structures and accounts. They may have different structures and different preferences for what their model looks like and their asset allocation and risk tolerance. And quite honestly, their preference is about tax. So there's going to be guardrails, not just guardrails for asset allocation and rebalancing and asset location, but also management of taxes and the balance of tax benefits versus staying true to a model and kind of delivering that performance and then bundling all that together.
All right. Well, I love that. Well, thanks for sharing that with us today, Ron. I think
So
we're going
happy to do
to
it.
pin in it right there.
Awesome. All
Okay.
right, thanks, Jack.
So that's just starting off our day 2 coverage. We have 3 more coming up. Stay with us. We'll be back in another hour with some more content from goRIA.
Fantastic. Thanks.
All right. That was excellent. Nicely done.